Hey Tyler.
Hi Dr. Godez.
Welcome to the pre-class video on Le Chatelier's principle. Ooh. And we have a little demo for you to demonstrate this. And the idea is that equilibrium is dynamic. It responds to changes. If you add something to a chemical system that's in equilibrium, it gets out of balance. Le Chatelier's principle says that it will rebalance itself. Right? And this is really important. The demo I wanted to show was kind of silly, but to me it makes a lot of sense. And so we're going to pretend this is a chemical reaction where Q is represented by quarters and P is represented by pennies. And it turns out that 2 pennies is about the same mass as a quarter. And so the stoichiometry kind of works out for this. Right? And so right now, this system is in equilibrium. It's balanced properly. Right? I have 2 quarters and 4 pennies, and so it's nicely balanced. This particular, yeah. And we could actually even calculate an equilibrium constant for this, which would be K equals P squared over Q, which equals 4 squared over 2. Which is going to be equal to 8. Okay. So the question is, well, what's going to happen if I add 2 quarters onto the quarter side?
Well, then you're going to get it unbalanced.
Yeah, it's obviously going to be unbalanced. Bam.
Whoa.
So in order to balance, so now that I've added the quarters, to balance it, what do I have to do? I have to add stuff over to the penny side. Right? But in a chemical system, the way that does is it converts quarters over to pennies. Right? Until they're balanced. And so I know the stoichiometry, 1 quarter goes to 2 pennies. And so if I take 1 quarter and convert it to 2 pennies,
With chemistry, now we're balanced.
It rebalances. Right? And so that's kind of the idea. In Le Chatelier's principle says, if I add extra reactants,
right, aka quarters,
they're going to get used up and produce enough pennies to rebalance it.
Right.
If I added extra product,
you'd go that way.
You'd use up product and it would get converted back to reactant.
Yeah, and note that when we added 2 quarters, they both didn't get converted to pennies.
Yep.
Only one of them did.
Only one did, and it produced 2 pennies because that's what the stoichiometry is.
Right.
Right? So I like that stoichiometry, especially if I have pennies and somebody is willing to convert them into quarters. Be rich. So that's the general idea of Le Chatelier's principle, and we're going to develop that to a chemical system. And it's not just reactants and products that are going to be affected, that's going to affect the equilibrium, but things like pressure and temperature and stuff like that. So hopefully this is a slight introduction, gets you introduced to the idea, and we'll see you in class even though you don't see us today.